Saving recorded game, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Spring Championships for the round of 16. This is game number 2 in a best of 5 between Kynesie, here he is, in the west of the map, in the colour red, playing as indeed the Portuguese. Starting with the 2 wood crates there, he's going to be pretty happy with that, especially on a water map. Absolutely. Going to be quite nice. But starting as well with the 40 wood and the 50 coin in his base, could do a variety of things, even if he chooses to play land here. Certainly an early market going to be very nice as well, or even a trading post, or whatever it is that he wants to do. And indeed, that explorer coming down into this side of the map, what's he looking for? Is it a trading post? No, I thought for a moment he might want that trading post there. It was certainly interesting. I wouldn't have necessarily expected that. But here, going for the 125 wood treasure. Really, really nice indeed. And he's actually going to build that trading post after all. Okay, but certainly going to get his crack shot used whilst it's recharging. He's going to be building that that trading post. Will he be able to get this up before the travel man, though, passes here? We'll have to see. But his opponent, SomppuKunkku, hopefully, in the east of the map, in the colour blue, playing as the British. So, of course, here he is. Starting with 300 wood because obviously his opponent had 200. That's the way it works. He does get the trading post up in time. Anyway, bearing in mind that this map is Hudson Bay, the frost spawn, where you cannot build outposts on this frost. You can dock it, but you can't build outposts in town centres. Veni, what do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, it is indeed a very interesting matchup. I'm curious to see what Kynesie will do, but I guess we have to wait for his age up to see where his town center will be placed. Or maybe we can just have a look at his deck in a second. But indeed, it is the frozen version, as you called out. I'm not sure how you knew this, but that is an interesting thing for later on.
Yeah, well, in the recording, or at least my recording, nobody's going to know what we're talking about. Do you want to briefly cover that?
Oh, okay. Oh, you can, of course. Yes. Well, the thing is, we just discussed the fact that this map has 2 spawning versions. One is the green one without the frozen part, and the other one is the white one, so to say, as we see now, with the frozen part here next to the big lake. Yeah. And that means that, as Interjection said, you can't build anything on what I just point out here on the screen. So basically, the width of a town center, you can't build anything. A town center, tower, whatever. You only can build a dock on the edge here. That is, of course, hanging half in the water. But it also means that it's a little bit more difficult to protect anything in the water because you're further from the water with your buildings that defend it. But back to the start there, as you mentioned, he built a trading post right away and he's now also receiving his second pass already, and he found 125 wood, so it's actually a very good start here for the Portuguese player. And the British only has found a 90 coin and 130 coin and 40 food, so that actually is decent.
That's pretty good, yeah, and a 60 wood treasure here as well.
Okay, that's also, of course, very nice for the British boom later on. Well, another thing to point out is a small deviation here from SomppuKunkku, or well, actually deviation. The British has kind of 2 options. If you start with 300 wood, you can start with 2 houses and save a little bit of wood, or you can start with a trading post and gather like 30 wood and make your 1 house. And actually, lately I start to like the trading post start as British as well, because
you like that?
The thing is, if you have 300 wood, you only have to gather a little bit, or maybe even you find like a small 40 wood treasure and you're done already.
Yeah.
And it also it just stacks up your shipment so nicely, which will just increase your boom by a little bit more, I feel.
That's true. Yeah, get the 5 villages, 700 wood, and all of that good stuff out. And even if you're being pressured, it gives you access to your musketeers and things a bit sooner. That's quite nice. Go ahead. The thing is that the extra house, of course, it is a little bit of XP. So in that regard, you get your third villagers a little bit faster. Well, actually, it is a little bit of XP. And of course, you get another villager, so that is a little bit of economy right away. Yeah. However, the trading post building is also XP, and it has, of course, an extra shipment available. So basically, you get your villagers around the same time, which means that you will age up more or less at the same time as well. Yeah.
But then you have this trading post working for you all the time from that point on, and of course during your age up, etc.
That's absolutely true. You do get those first 3 villager shipments, as Veni said, quicker because of the trading post, meaning that it kind of mitigates the fact that you didn't build an extra manor house or whatever it is. The other option is a market, but that's not a discussion for now because the players have just hit up to the next stage. Here we have the Portuguese player has gone with the schooners as his first card. Of course, Portugal do not have a 3 villager shipment, and here instead has sent schooners and has already started the dock. Has got 1 fishing boat already at a discounted price. There's the second one, and a second dock going down. Of course, out of that 200, or out of his 400 wood that he has aged up with. Looking to boat boom here with the trading post behind it and the 2 town centres. I find it interesting actually that he hasn't put this near the docks, but then I guess that's probably because of the frost. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think you should still put it over there just to get some extra cover. I feel, but on the other hand. if you put it, for example, right where the frozen part stops, I think that actually units can siege it without being hit by the caravels.
Yeah.
I think if you estimate the range, so that's maybe why he thinks, okay, I'm safer just splitting the water from my main base. So if SomppuKunkku goes from a main base, I can still gather on the water, and if he goes for the water, for the dogs, then I can still gather around my main base.
Yeah, because that thing has an absolutely, these things here, Town Center's massive anti-ship damage, or range more to the point, 40 range on these things. Like, if you pop it down there, as Veni was saying, it will still be able to siege something that is sieging the docks or nearby fishing boats and stuff like that. Absolutely. But, yep, that is what he's done. British, though, has indeed, well, yes, British. He's sent 700 wood as his first shipment there. Pretty normal stuff so far. Going to be using that to, of course, build down lots of manor houses. Has actually gone with the tower age up and an early stable. Here come 5 cav. Going to do some raiding. Can he pick up some villages, though? There's one he's going to attack that, but very close to actually 2 town centers, so I find it quite unlikely that he get 2 villagers on the wood there. Hasn't brought them back. Can he get a villager? Looks like he's going to be able to get a kill there. Kynesie not going to be too happy about that. Perhaps didn't see them there on the tree. Taking out 2 villagers that really he didn't actually deserve. Very nice from Sam, whatever it is, Blue here, the cavalry, which I wouldn't necessarily expect out of British either.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. He just now scoured the water, I think. I'm not sure he scoured it before, because his tower is also like below the gold mine, and otherwise I think he would have put it above the gold mine to have just a little bit of range on that water part there. The cavalry start, yeah, sometimes common, sometimes not. It's something you can expect, but I think indeed, like you said, the 2 villagers were just like under the tree, and I think Kynesie missed it, because otherwise losing 2 villagers at this point is a little bit sloppy in my opinion.
Yeah, a little bit. Wow, 6 musketeers coming out of that town centre from a shipment of British here. So arriving at the, well, here they are. They're coming out in the outpost.
Yeah, wow, it is unfortunate that he cancelled his musketeer shooting there, because I think he would have been able to pick up a 3rd villager.
I was looking at that actually, but yeah, wow. He's playing super aggressive here, like the cavalry and the 2 forward buildings, right? The 6 musketeer shipment, which you wouldn't necessarily expect from British unless they're, trying to defend. Oh, can he pick up another villager? Oh, no, he dupes him, gets on the other side of the wall. Can he kill it? What is, he's able to attack it before it goes up? What is going on? I don't understand.
I guess the sword reaches far enough.
Get it away, you can do this, it doesn't need to die. Oh my god.
Women, interjection, women, they never listen, man. There you see. But he's gonna pick up.
Another villager going down. God, this British player super aggressive here. This is really paying off as well. Like, only has killed a ton of villagers and has completely idled all of these, of course, all the villagers are inside. Obviously, you can't hang around here to keep them idle because 2 town centers pumping out damage is going to be pretty tough. So, whilst British, of course, has been kind of aggressive here, has neglected his mana boom. Well, he sent 700 woods, he hasn't actually neglected it, but certainly 6 musketeers is not what I was is like. Well, they're being used here to siege down the trading post. Certainly, obviously, you've got 2 options: it's boom and make your own economy better with like 700 wood shipments and 5 villages and 600 wood, or invest in military and make your opponent's economy worse so that your economy is better relative to theirs. And these musketeers going to achieve that by taking out that trading post, but certainly interesting. Anyway, Portuguese has sent 700 wood as his first shipment there, used that to get lots of boats out, certainly looking very good. Has 2 caravels as well, which have just arrived, and has upgraded the with the rendering plant, fishing, very, very nice. Oh, we have a little bit.
Yeah, look at the water. Yes. It looks like there's a battle, and Kynesie gets off the first shots, and we know that he's very good at microing a ship, so I have to see how Kynesie is. Oh, wait.
Ooh. Wow, this is not something you get to see very often, water fighting here, but obviously don't want that ship to die. He's Blue gonna chase that down, perhaps using the fishing boat.
He should be going back right away.
The things there, getting very close to the docks, luring these ships towards them so that, of course, the docks can shoot back here. Gonna target that one, takes it out. If he can keep the red boat alive, of course, moving it around really close, trying to walk around the blue boat lot so it can't, obviously, if the blue boat is constantly spinning, it'll never be able to shoot. And if you can do that whilst it's constantly spinning around, it takes damage. You can keep your boat alive and then repair it at the docks afterwards once the fighting's done.
Yeah, I like that. I have to admit that Kynesie did a great job at microing that.
He didn't manage to save that last ship though, but you could see him trying so hard to just constantly spin it around the other boat so that Blue can never actually get a shot.
I think the micro at first was just perfect, and then he kind of bumped into the other boat, maybe a misclick, I'm not sure, and that's where SomppuKunkku got off one more shot. I think Kynesie would have been able to save the other boat just by buying a little bit more time when his dogs were also shooting at SomppuKunkku's boat. Unfortunately, he didn't. However, he of course still has one boat left on the right side, full HP as well.
Yeah.
So he's in a very good position, and he is almost.
If he'd managed to save that other one, it'd be healing right now as well. But go ahead.
That would indeed, yeah, that would be very strong. But he is now aging up, and actually, this is also why I was about to say before. He shipped 6 musketeers, Somppu that is. But I feel that the damage that he did, it would have been better for him
going
to
down.
not.
Can Blue take that out though? It's only just gone down. Sorry.
He's gonna find it for sure. He should be. Come on.
Cavalry.
The
They've
musketeers
gone
should be
idle,
going
he'll
there.
click on it and see it. The town centre, the more time it gets to build, the better. But he's seen it now, of course. Blue, the Minutemen coming out, of course, he knows that he doesn't want his opponent to siege that, so has to call his Minutemen to start. I think the town centre is going to go.
This is a major mistake of SomppuKunkku. He should be sieging a town centre with their stars, I feel.
Yeah?
Yep, he shouldn't be wasting time on the Minutemen. He could have, I'm pretty sure that he will get the town center before it's built, or he will damage it that much that he can just finish it off right away when it's finished building.
Yeah.
I actually don't like this decision.
Oh, okay, I thought maybe that Kynesie obviously called his Minutemen to stop that town center from going down.
Yeah, for sure, yes. He's buying time, but I think
you think he should have
deal with
attacked it anyway. Of course, that takes ×4 damage during construction phase, but even though he'd be taking a lot of damage from the Minutemen, obviously these are 100 resources each, these musketeers, Minutemen only 300, you'd be taking way too much damage, but you think he should go for it anyway and take that town center out?
Yeah, the thing is, the musketeers could have dealt with the Minutemen for sure and bought some time for Somppu's side there. And I think the Hussars, he had like 6 Hussars or something. Yeah. Sieging, 20 damage. What is it again? 20 times 6, 120. You say times 4. That's quite a lot of siege damage. I'm pretty sure he would have been able to get it, or almost get it for sure.
Red would have one less town center, but now we do see that I think Red up with the town center. He is okay, he's kind of stabilized, all his people back to work, has a really nice fishing economy, and managed to keep one boat, came out ahead in that, so he's okay on the water. British hasn't really been able to deal with him on the water. He's got this wall going up, and now has the military coming out. He's kind of stabilized, 5 dragoons, doesn't have a military building yet, but certainly is in the fortress age, has access to those shipments, and I think he's going to be okay. What does British need to do to actually stop the Portuguese player from taking use of this position that he's in now, that he's got up to fortress?
Well, it's first of all very nice that he got rid of the trading post from Kynesie, but like you said, the water is still uncontested, and with one ship being there, he won't be able to make a dock, because you also see on the right side there is shipping boats, and further to the right there's a hero, so Kynesie has complete control and line of sight there, knowing if anything would come down from Somppu. And that actually then also comes down to the fact that I don't like the 6 musketeer shipment, especially because he already killed 1 or 2 villages, meaning he did enough damage like early on and still has his resource available for raiding. If he would have shipped 600 wood before and just made some musketeers by the wrecks to get a trading post, I think his economy would be in a better spot, because he just has to deal with the water boom from Kynesie, and that just means that you need more of an economy on land, because as you see now, Somppu is at 48 villages and Kynesie is at 54.
Yeah, though he's only just started to climb ahead, Kynesie. They have been very even. Yes, he's got a ton of boats, but that is his economy. Like, Red has only not actually got that many villages. He's lost a lot in the early portion of the game and has been finding it difficult to maintain villager production. It's really just the boats. Yes, he's pulled ahead just now, but it's still kind of even in terms of economy, because he's only just managed to get that slight villager lead.
Yeah, but the thing is that British kind of needs to, like how you say that, prepare for it, anticipate for it, because Red, look at the left bottom side near town center, he has a full herd available. In the back he has 2 herds, one near the gold mine, one near the docks, and he has now 3 town centers to spam villages from, so he will be in a quite okay position to hold out for the next, let's say, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Also, there's a fort going down.
Yeah, send in the fort. Gonna secure this position. Knows he's got the hunts. Knows that the longer this game goes on, the more likely he is to win. Fort is so long. That's gonna buy him like 10 minutes. Like.
Yeah, it is really a very strong position, guarding the town centers, the gold mine, and also that hunt on the left side. And also, by the way, he has 1k gold, so he can ship Mamelukes as well for even more defense. And you all know how that goes with Mamelukes.
Yeah, keep calm, ship Mamelukes.
Oh, actually, maybe he's going for an age up. I think he's actually going to an age up.
Gonna go for the industrial. Pardon me.
Yeah,
the industrial age.
Yeah, it looks like he has soon 1200 gold and 2000 food, and that's probably the fort also buying himself time.
Yeah. The fort, like, you can go up to industrial behind that, you should be okay. Obviously, 2 options here is mass units now that he's up, or go to the next stage and have access to even more strong, like the 2 heavy cannons, which are absolutely insane, and of course the guard upgrades and various other things. It's both completely viable options here. But a British, not looking in such a good spot here, didn't boom so much in the early game, despite his really aggressive start, and a really good aggressive start, hasn't managed to do much damage to Portugal. Portugal looking very strong, with villages coming out of his bottom very quickly. 3 town centres, 3 docks, 4 docks even, or is that 5? I don't even know, it doesn't matter. And he's up to the next stage, in the fortress age, of course, already, like skirmishers, dragoons, absolutely annihilate musketeers and hussars. British now going up to fortress, but I think it might, I don't know, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, meanwhile he's now aging to the 4th age and Somppu is aging to the 3rd age. They will both reach at about the same time, but...
Yeah. It seemed like perhaps if, I don't know, like he has no idea, unless you scout and you can explicitly see, oh, he's not making military units, he must be going up to the industrial age. If you push whilst he's doing that, you can put yourself in a strong position and do really quite well. Here they're going to lose those hussars, of course, to the dragoons there. But if you push whilst he's aging, you might be able to salvage it and do a lot of damage and maybe put yourself in the strongest position. But if you're aging at the same time as them, you're just giving them the time that they need. But it's obviously a matter of scouting whether or not to see if they're doing that.
Yeah, I do like the, actually, I can't even say this, it's hard to get out of my mouth, but I do like this small wall piece of Kynesie. You saw that he used it very nicely to get the goons out left and right side from this
Would you
gate.
like to flare it? I'm not quite sure.
Oh, it's, let me flare. Oh, it's just where it got down there on left side.
Yeah, I was looking at that, so that's good.
He had just 5 dragoons from a shipment. As you said, he had no military building up for a long time, and he used that gate very nicely to swing to the left and right side to get the hussars, but not take too much damage from the infantry army from SomppuKunkku. And he aids with the 10 musketeers just to get a little bit of army out there, because he wasn't sure what SomppuKunkku was doing.
Yeah.
And the town center, this is something that Somppu should have spotted. I would have at least had like 1 musketeer or something there, just to make sure that you spot this town center left side being built there, because this is again 1 more gold mine and a small hunt in addition for Kynesie later on.
That's true. Perhaps he thought, oh, my outpost has line of sight to the coin mine, I'll see if there's going to be a town center there. But this is, maybe that's why I didn't put any units in this area. But exactly, like, that town center's going to go down. If he'd seen it, he could have rushed over there, destroyed it, at least keep salvage a portion in the game. He's up to Fortress now, see what he can do. The scores are still fairly even, only 20 points in favour of Red despite this insane position. But 5 organ guns, possibly one of the most efficient shipments in the game, do pop out.
Wow,
absolutely ridiculous. Now his score's going to rocket up. 261 score points there. Though he doesn't have, at this point, very much anti-cavalry. So
yeah,
I think, but then nor does Blue have.
He did make artillery foundry, so I really like that anticipation move there.
Yeah.
Kind of knowing the player as well, because Kynesie, whatever civilization he's playing, he likes his musketeer cannon combination. What is interesting though is that he shipped indeed the 5 organ guns, but he doesn't have 2 heavy cannons in his deck in the 4th age.
Oh, very interesting.
I think that usually Portuguese people have that.
Yeah, and the 3 horse cannons or whatever it is that Portugal has access to as well. Portuguese have such good artillery shipments in the 4th age, and that's a lot of the time why you go up to get access to them. 2 heavy cannons, oh my goodness, these 5 musketeers are going to get wrecked. Sit down.
Rest in peace there, yes. But on the bottom side, it is nice that he's going to get the town center of Kynesie. Not so much about the production of villages there, but more about denying map control line of sight.
Yeah.
And Kynesie made a church, by the way. So
a church coming down. Has he sent the thingy up though?
I'm not yet.
No, not yet. But if he is if he's going to build a church, the only reason he would is because he's going to send, of course, the advanced church, which of course is not in his deck. Very good. Well played to him.
Maybe he's. I think he's just gonna use it because he had a lot of coin. Probably gonna do the how you call it, the church XP thing, you know?
Marketilism.
Yeah, that one. Because he just has to go for these 20 lame ranged dragoon stuff. Oh, look, we're missing a battle in the middle here. Culverins taking out organ guns.
Oh my god, we're such good at casting. Yeah, Calverins, nice job on the, look at that. The organ guns really can't do anything. That one, they're gonna get sat down as well. These 2 in the back, gonna get dragoons. There's not really enough dragoons here to do any damage to the culverins. They're gonna be quite easily able to take out the organ guns here. At the same time, though, they are still alive and doing quite a lot of damage to these veteran musketeers. There are some Cassadors in the back doing damage as well, though no doubt those culverins are focused down. That's gonna get taken out. Looks like though he's coming in with some dragoons. Does manage to take out one of the culverins, and no doubt will probably get out of here now.
This organ gun is for alive way too long. First of all, I have to point out that it was a very nice move by Kynesie to pull these organ guns back. He pulled it back like just barely to range or something, so they would be just out of range from the culverins, but it would mean that the culverins would have to move, and that bought him so much time. He was able to get off like, I don't know, way more shots because of doing that. Also, again, Somppu missed out on a shot there and let the organ gun live a little bit too long. And look on the right side, by the way, Kynesie has transported some villages there, and he's now gathering a little bit of Somppu's food there.
And he's got a nice place to garrison them in the caravel should they be threatened by any cavalry or anything. That's really nice indeed, yeah.
Yeah, but so far British still has map control. He made a second town center here on the bottom, and I really hope that he's gonna hurt this herd towards the town center, and he still has something available here where he's now building an outpost just to prevent anything there. But look at the situation where we are now. Kynesie has a very nice base setup, a fort you can't push in, several town centers, a factory. He also is now making that Cree settlement for additional Coeur de Bois. He still has a lot of gold available on the water. And of course we all know what is coming up next.
Yeah, Mamelukes on the way.
Mamelukes indeed, but also monitors probably because he's in the fourth age.
Then with those you just absolutely just wreak havoc from the water. Like they have such a long range. Definitely monitors could target this town centre there with sort of the mortars attached to the front. But I don't know. British, yeah, he's got map control. He's got a second town centre going down. He's now up to Fortress Age, looking okay. Got those late game, of course, Musketeer, Grenadier combat upgrades, refrigeration. Has a very nice economy. 74 villages, nothing to scoff at. But the oh my goodness me, the Portuguese player fully down with all of his he's transitioned fully to mills and has a factory up and running. This fort here, very nice base setup, is just looking very strong with over 100-point score lead.
Yeah, so indeed 75 villages for Somppu and 10 more for Kynesie. However, of course, these 12 villagers or so are gathering gold on the water, uncontested all the time. So he doesn't have to make any plantations for that, while at some point SomppuKunkku will have to do that.
It's true, they're 800 wood each. That's a really good benefit, actually. Yeah, good. I didn't even think of that, but go ahead.
But there's indeed also a small slow down, so to say, for the Portuguese, because like you said, he has just invested in 3 mills, and it looks like he will probably invest in something else like a plantation or mill. Oh wait, he still has a mine available, okay. But he invested just in 3 mills, so that is 1200 wood, quite a big investment. I like his choice to go for a factory, one factory, before sending the long-range dragoon card thing.
Yeah.
Because he knew that he was okay for the moment with his fort, and oh wow, he's now making horse guns from his artillery foundry. That is going to be devastating.
And he has plenty of anti-cavalry to deal with those. The Genie upgrade is active. That's no ordinary guard upgrade here. We do have a fight. Horse cannons setting up. Gonna absolutely annihilate these longbowmen. They do have a long range, but not quite long enough.
He moved on back right on time.
Yeah, looking really good. Those culverins going to do a lot of damage to the horse artillery, and he can't really pressure it. Those Genies have the upgrade there with 10 extra line of sight or something like that. Absolutely monstrous. These things have a massive range. Just absolutely annihilating those 2 culverins there. They have such high ranged attack because of the Genie upgrade, which is not a regular guard upgrade. They get 30% from the guard upgrade, and then an additional 10% from it being a Royal Guard upgrade, a Portuguese specific upgrade. That's their, specific unit. But the 2 culverins, I think, did a fair trade against the horse cannons, but he doesn't have anything to deal with them. His entire army is infantry. Now Portuguese coming forward, now that he's got, of course, all fully transitioned to mills, got that factory down, as you mentioned, and is now is pushing the push out to sort of end the game.
Yeah, what's very unfortunate is that he just lost his artillery foundry where he was making 1 or 2 more culverins, so he now has to rebuild it. Actually, that is also something like, if you're really spot on, you would anticipate losing that and you would already have made a second artillery in the back somewhere.
Yeah.
But in that first battle, I think if the longbowmen would have spread a little bit better, I think they would have been able to take out 1 or 2 horse guns maybe, with the musketeers taking up some damage, because now he's just getting pushed back, and while you have culverins, it's always better to trade for you when the culverins are still shooting in the back. He also did send his longbowman range card, so he does have 26 range, which is equal to the horse gun. And that one in the front, he can't just take it out. I'm not sure what this horse gun is doing. He will die for sure, but okay. He still gets off a nice shot.
Yeah.
So he did remake his artillery foundry somewhere. Oh, there.
Yeah, click on the top right of the picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. What's he got in queue? Yeah, it's still quite far forward though, but 2 culverins certainly in queue. They're going to be very useful for, of course, dealing with these infantry that he's making. But still, like, he's being pushed back so far, and it's looking tough.
Yeah, he has to wait for his cannons to pop. Actually, if he sends 2 falconets, he might be able to buy some more time as well.
Falconets from his home city. Yeah.
It looks like he has no shipment available. Oh, he has a shipment actually.
Yeah,
he's probably too busy microing.
I'm sure he'll see that in just a moment. Yeah.
But imagine.
This is not good. Look, this is where he's put his 2 mills, and they're 800 wood worth of food, and that's his only source of food income. These Genites could just... Oh, the 2 cannons, though, getting taken out. Obviously, no cover from the Dragoons there, and obviously, like, you can afford to, even though these resist 75% of range damage, you can just afford to focus them down, especially with the long-range veteran longbowman with the, obviously, Yeoman card. Without the cover of the Dragoons doing a 41 damage in the back, each one of these doing 41, like, he can afford to take them out, has done that, and has bought himself a bit more time. Is not out of this game just yet.
Yeah, it was a very good move, or actually also a little bit of a mistake from Kynesie to leave his cannons unprotected, but nice that SomppuKunkku capitalized on it immediately. Also, I would like him to use his hero again. 620 HP will soak up a lot of damage. And you see now here the power of 4th age Gynetes. That was actually a quite decent longbow mess, but yeah, veteran longbows, and he still takes them out.
That is the end of the game. He realizes that he's slowly fallen behind, and of course he's got nothing to stop the red player from walking in on top of these mills, which are all very close here, and that's all of his food denied. But those Gynetes, absolutely insane. He's got the... well, I'm just looking through the improvements tab, but I can't actually move. Has he got an arsenal up? Anyway, that's...
Yeah, he had the arsenal up as well. I think he did the upgrade
there on those as well.
Arsenal is here.
Very, very strong. Has finished the game. And that is, well, we still have one more game coming up. Well, plenty more games coming up, actually. That's assuming... Wait, who won the first one? SomppuKunkku.
Yeah, no, Kynesie won the first one. Japanese
so
first
the score
German.
is 2-0. But some blue, SomppuKunkku not out just yet. We do have another game, so stay tuned. But Veni, do you want to do some post-game analysis?
Yeah, just to break it up quickly. Yeah, so the standard water play from Kynesie that we saw here from the start. I really like the forward position from the British player here, and the aggression as well with the raids. I don't like the 6 Musketeers for what I said earlier. The thing is that part of the reason why SomppuKunkku lost is because he didn't have enough economy on land to compete with the economy from both the land and the sea from Kynesie. So if he had shipped, for example, 5 village or 600 wood earlier, he would have been able to also make that Rex and make a few Musketeers to take out the trading post, maybe rest a little bit here and there. But he would have been in a better economic position than shipping those 6 Musketeers, which, to be honest, didn't do that much for the defensive Portuguese with 2,000 as Spearmen, etc. And if he would have been in a better position, he also had a better time window to do damage in the, let's say, around the 3rd age before Kynesie would be aging up. Of course, Kynesie plays the fort very nicely as a very strong defensive position, but SomppuKunkku could have gotten around or could have raided a little bit more, etc. Also, like you said, the placement of the mills is not ideal. Why not in the back where you have no fight for sure for the next few minutes? I'm not sure why players do this. Maybe because they, needed the mill very quickly and they just had to build it.
The villagers just happened to be there when they finished gathering hunts, and they're like, well, we're done, let's plant some mills.
Yeah, of course, also walking back takes some time, but here you see that at least make it like around the edges or something and not so far to the center. And then I think it was a nice move that he already made an artillery foundry, SomppuKunkku that is, to like anticipate any shipments or infantry, making of artillery. But yeah, it was again, the micro of his cannons was not ideal. Of course, it's very difficult to deal with the dragoons and the horse guns. But it also shows actually that, and that's actually one thing I want to point out, which I always remember, for example, a player like Spadel. Spadel keeps scouting constantly. Even if he loses his hero, he's going to scout with 1 Hussar, he's going to scout with, he's going to buy his hero back or whatever. And SomppuKunkku did not do any scouting after the 2nd push, let's say, when he lost his Hussars to the raiding from the dragoons at the top. So he never knew that an artillery foundry was being built by Kynesie. And that is also why there was a little bit of a surprise from these 5 horse guns that came out.
Yeah.
But like I said, if he had a little bit of a better economy, he would have been able to produce more infantry, more longbowmen for sure, and it would still be a hard game, but there wouldn't be such a discrepancy in villagers, because now we see that Kynesie safely boomed on water, continued to boom on land, and even outboomed SomppuKunkku in villagers by 109 to 80 at this point.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's just quickly move to their 3rd game then.
Alright, stay tuned everybody. Next game coming up right about now.
And I was just bringing up